3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
Plus 45 seconds into liftoff, and Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center, carrying our stack of 49 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Chamber pressures are nominal.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center, carrying our stack of 49 Starlink satellites to orbit. Moments ago, we throttled the engines down
Telemetry nominal.
in preparation for max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure, which will happen here in just a few seconds at T plus 1 minute and 12 seconds.
Status check.
Go Atlas.
Go Boost Centaur. Go USSF-8. ECDS reduced for launch.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We have ignition and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket carrying SF-8 for the United States Space Force.
Now 10 seconds into flight, vehicles begun the pitch over maneuver. Body responses look good.
You're now hearing the voice of Patrick Moore providing launch vehicle ascent data.
Now 20 seconds in. RD-180 propellant utilization system has gone to closed loop control system. Response looks good. Now passing 30 seconds into flight. Vehicles completing the pitch over maneuver. Body rate responses continue to look good. Engine operating parameters continue to look good. SRB chamber pressure within expected ranges. Coming up on 58 seconds into flight, Mach 1, Atlas 5 now supersonic.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff. In Boca al Lupo. Go Falcon, go Cosmo.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressures are nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying the Cosmos SkyMed satellite to a polar sun synchronous orbit.
Power and telemetry nominal.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of L87. Go Falcon, go, go.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Nominal first stage chamber pressures.
We're now T plus 40 seconds into the NROL 87 mission. Falcon 9 is throttling down in preparation.
Power and telemetry.
In preparation for max Q.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff, Starlink 47.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressures are nominal.
We are T plus 40 seconds into liftoff. Falcon 9 has successfully cleared pad 39A and carrying
Power
our
and
stack
telemetry
of 49 Starlink satellites into orbit.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0.
LV0008 has launched and is on its way to space. You can follow the flight milestones on the left side of your screen, as well as the velocity and altitude of the vehicle. Our next objective is max Q.
Minus 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have engine ignition.
Yep.
And
the Antares launch vehicle from launch flight facility. Engines are at 100% thrust. Altitude is nominal.
And we have liftoff of the SSBIRS Stellars carrying over 8,000 pounds of cargo to the International Space Station. Good performance on the first stage so far.
Steady at 100% thrust and nominal. Still at 100% thrust and nominal.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. Liftoff. Starlink 4-8.
Vehicle switching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station,
Power and telemetry nominal.
carrying our stack of 46 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of Falcon 9, Starlink 4-11.
M1D chamber pressures are nominal.
T plus 42 seconds into flight, Falcon 9 has successfely lifted off from Vandenberg Space Force Base, carrying our stack of 50 Starlink satellites to orbit.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T plus 40 seconds into the mission, and our 24th Electron has lifted off from Pad B at Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1. The beauty of launching in the morning means we had a clear daytime view of Electron powering its way to space for perspective.
The final seconds now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff. Liftoff of NOAA's GOES-T, our newest weather sentinel in the sky to help keep us safe here on the ground.
Daryl, let's listen in as we listen to United Launch Alliance Rob.
Yours look good.
Who's the flight mission commentator.
View has gone to closed loop control. The RD-180 is now throttling down as expected. Engine response looks good. We're now 33 seconds into flight. Atlas is 3 miles in altitude, 0.9 miles downrange distance.
Max Q, 48 seconds.
We have passed through Mach 1. Vehicle is now passing through Max Q, maximum dynamic pressure.
Throttle back those RD-180s.
Now 55 seconds into flight. Atlas is 7 miles in altitude, 4 miles downrange distance, traveling at 1,900 miles per hour.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff.
T plus 40 seconds into flight, Falcon 9 lifting off from Space Launch Complex 39A at the Kennedy Space Center.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Carrying 47 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff. Falcon 9 starting vortex.
Vehicles pitching down range.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying our stack of 48
telemetry nominal.
Carrying our stack of 48 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit.
10, water on. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
First motion.
Vehicle has cleared the tower.
LV0009, it's on its way to space. Our next objective is Max Q in just under a minute.
Gorgeous liftoff views from Kodiak, Alaska. T plus 25 seconds, looking good. Still looking good. You can see the vehicle pitching downrange south from Kodiak, Alaska towards orbit. And there you got an onboard view on the first stage looking down towards the engine section. And a beautiful contrail as the vehicle ascends towards space.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying our stack of 53 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mission and liftoff of Transporter 4.
Pitching downrange. Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
We're at T plus 40 seconds. Awesome views from Falcon 9 punching through the clouds. Falcon 9 has cleared the tower and we're currently throttling down in preparation for max Q at T plus 1 minute and 12 seconds. This is
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
Just take up the nominal.
HV battery discharge is nominal.
And there we have it. Our 25th Electron launch vehicle is off the pad for this mission and progressing well on its way to low Earth orbit. Soon the vehicle will approach the point in its journey when it experiences the most amount of stress, maximum aerodynamic pressure, which is known as max Q.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Stop. Go Falcon, go Dragon. Godspeed, Axiom 1.
Copy 1 Alpha. Vehicle position downrange.
Together, a new chapter begins. Godspeed AX-1.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T plus 38 seconds into this historic mission, flying crew on board Dragon and Falcon 9.
Range telemetry nominal.
Stage 1 throttle down.
Throttling down in the preparation for max dynamic pressure.
Falcon 9 is supersonic. Max Q.
Stage 1 throttle up.
Merlin 1D engines coming back up to power.
1 Bravo. Copy 1 Bravo.
The crew calling out 1 Bravo should a escape situation arise. It tells the Dragon flight computer what profile to fly using the Super Draco engines. But everything is looking good on Falcon 9. We're getting nominal callouts from all the engineers and a great view from the ground camera and the onboard cameras.
Invac chill underway.
Beginning to chill in the second stage turbo pump in preparation for its ignition, coming up in just over half a minute from now. Coming up on about 3.5 G's acceleration for the crew. We'll begin throttling down the Merlin engines to hold that level of acceleration.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff, the Falcon 9. Go NROL 85.
Pitching downrange. Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
We're T plus 42 seconds into the NROL 85 mission. We heard that first call
Power
out.
and telemetry nominal.
And power and telemetry are nominal. We're now into the throttle down. Falcon 9 decreasing thrust to prepare for max Q, the highest amount of aerodynamic pressure.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff of Starlink 414.
Vehicle's pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
As you can see on your screen and heard by the cheers of folks with me here at Mission Control, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40, carrying our 53 Starlink satellites.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff. Go Falcon. Let freedom reign. Guiding speed 34.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. Quality 1 Alpha.
Freedom soars and the Dragon flies forth. Vehicle already pitching downrange. All 9 Merlin engines have lit.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Getting good performance on stage 1 propulsion already. We are T plus 35 seconds into the 4th rotational crew mission on board Dragon and the Falcon 9. The 9 Merlin 1D engines on the first stage are beginning to throttle down.
Throttle down.
In preparation for max Q. This is where the vehicle will experience the highest amount of aerodynamic pressures, so we'll throttle down the engines in preparation for that event.
Vehicle is supersonic.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Lift off for Starlink. Go Falcon. Go Starlink 416. Vehicle is pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40, carrying our 53 Starlink satellites. Now, although at liftoff gravity is pulling the vehicle straight down, as we ascend, we tilt the engines.
Power and telemetry nominal.
And tilting those engines is called gimbaling. That turns the rocket horizontally, and you can kind of see that there on your screen. So we are still going up, but we're also heading horizontally away from the launch pad. And that is what we call a gravity turn.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have liftoff.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T plus 31 seconds into the mission, and Electron is airborne after our 26th launch from LC1.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
And Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Launch Complex 39A, carrying our 53 Starlink satellites. Although at liftoff, gravity is pulling straight down on the rocket. As we ascend, we'll tilt the engines, technical term is gimbaling, and that turns the rocket horizontally. We're still going up, but now we are also heading horizontally away from the launch pad.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure is nominal. Acquisition of signal, send equal time.
We are T plus 42 seconds into flight. Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 4E, carrying our 53 Starlink satellites into space.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Falcon is pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressures are nominal. Successful liftoff of Falcon 9 from Space Launch Complex in Florida, bringing 53 Starlink satellites into orbit. This first stage lifting off for its first time.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full power. And liftoff.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Nominal first stage chamber pressures.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Launch Complex 39A, carrying our 53 Starlink satellites into space. Now, moments ago, we did throttle down the engines on the first stage, and this is in preparation for max Q.
30 seconds.
Centaur at flight press.
Vehicles now pressurized for flight.
25. Status check.
Go Atlas. Go Centaur.
Go Starliner.
All systems are go for liftoff.
Go Starliner. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Starliner is headed back to space on the shoulders of Atlas, powered by a workforce dedicated to its success.
We have confirmation of a good MET epic timer on Starliner.
Atlas executed its roll program.
Already ready is now throttling down to maintain
crew in a
acceptable
heads-up
dynamic
position
pressure
to
on
get
the
crew
vehicle.
on board today.
This is the first planned throttle down for Atlas in preparation for max Q.
Max Q, maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle.
Right now, atmospheric forces are the highest Starliner Atlas will face during the uphill climb.
Mach 1, Atlas 5 and Starliner are now supersonic.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
vehicles reaching downrange.
We're now T plus 43 seconds into flight. Falcon 9 has cleared the tower.
Power and telemetry nominal. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff. M1D chamber pressure nominal. Pitching downrange.
T plus 40 seconds into the mission, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying the Nilesat 301 satellite to a geosynchronous transfer orbit.
10, water on, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Ignition. And liftoff. M1D chamber pressure is nominal. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
We are T plus 37 seconds into the mission. Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Launch Complex 39A, carrying our 53 Starlink satellites into space.
Power and telemetry nominal.
T-minus 15 seconds. Falcon 9 is configured for flight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff.
Vehicle pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
We are just over T plus 40 seconds into flight, and we saw Falcon 9 pierce the cloud layer, and it is up heading into space right now.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And lift off of Falcon 9. Go Falcon, go Globalstar. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off.
Power and telemetry are nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off with Globalstar FM-15 satellites and has throttled down to prepare for max Q.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lift up. HVB discharge now.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Entering burnout detect mode.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal. Pitching downrange.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from pad 40 carrying the SES-22 satellite.
Telemetry nominal.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have engine ignition and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket, carrying USSF-12 for the United States Space Force.
Pitch over program, body rates look good. NPU's gone to closed loop. System response looks good. Now 20 seconds into flight. Atlas is now completing the pitch over maneuver. Body rates continue to look good. RD-180 is throttled down slightly to partial thrust. Response looks good. Now 36 seconds into flight, Atlas V is now passing Mach 1. RD-180 continue to look good in partial thrust mode. Seeing good chamber pressures on all SRBs. And 49 seconds into flight, max Q, maximum dynamic pressure.
Release, release, release.
Yes.
Confirmed release.
Base copies.
Switched
Good light.
Sabitha to S-band from
Base
Long
copies. Good
PST's
light.
ignited.
Newton 3 startup complete.
She's saying it. We sent it. Or LauncherOne's going straight up to space.
Base copies. Well done.
Incredible job, Ellies.
Awesome. In the studio,
Max
can we
Alpha flight
switch over
complete.
to MCC audio?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Vehicle pitching downrange.
Launch. Wait a minute, is it going up?
Power and telemetry are nominal.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Starlink.
Pitching downrange. Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal. Power and telemetry, nominal. Falcon is supersonic.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have liftoff.
Vehicles clear.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
High voltage battery discharge, nominal.
Our 28th Electron launch vehicle has successfully lifted off the pad and is on its way to space.
On the beach.
T-minus 15.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff of SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket, launching Dragon on the 25th mission to resupply the International Space Station with cool science and a new advanced instrument to more effectively study our planet's climate.
Power and telemetry nominal.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff of Starlink 422.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal. Vehicles pitching downrange.
Power and telemetry nominal.
With that, the vehicle is traveling faster than the speed of sound.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff of Starlink 3-2. Go Falcon 9. Vehicles pushing downrange. M1D chamber pressures are nominal. Power and telemetry nominal.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 chamber pressures are nominal.
As you can see on your screen, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off.
Nominal power and telemetry.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And we have liftoff.
Vehicles pitching over.
Stage 1 proportional is nominal.
HVB discharge looks nominal. Entered burnout detect mode.
There we go, T plus 50 seconds into the NROL 199 mission on its Antipodean adventure.
T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition and liftoff of the Atlas V rocket for United Launch Alliance, carrying SBIRS GEO-6 for the United States Space Force.
Passing 30 seconds in flight. Vehicle is now 2 miles in altitude. And the RD-180 is now throttling down as expected. Engine response looks good. And the vehicle has completed its roll maneuver. Passing 50 seconds in flight. Mach 1, Atlas V is now supersonic. Vehicle is now passing through max Q, maximum dynamic pressure.
15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition and liftoff. Danuri, Antares.
Vehicles pitching downrange. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying the KPLO payload to a ballistic lunar transfer orbit.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff of Starlink. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Nominal first stage chamber pressures.
Falcon 9 is pitching downrange.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from pad 39A.
Nominal avionics, power and telemetry.
And we are throttling down those engines in preparation for max Q, that is maximum dynamic pressure.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Lift off of the Falcon 9.
D1D chamber pressure nominal.
As you saw, we had a beautiful liftoff of Falcon 9 from Vandenberg Space Force Station. Everything is looking good with Falcon 9.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off of the Falcon 9. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Shoot downrange. And 1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Power and telemetry nominal. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. Lift off, Starlink 423.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
You are watching Falcon 9 as it accelerates our Starlink satellites into orbit. And we got some really cool views of the vehicle flying through the clouds there.
Falcon is supersonic.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff of Starlink 3-4. Go Falcon 9.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
You are watching Falcon 9 accelerate spaceflights Sherpa LTC-2 and our Starlink satellites out into space.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and lift off of Falcon 9. Go Blue Walker 3, go Starlink. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
What you are seeing on your screen is Falcon 9 accelerating AST Space Mobile's Blue Walker 3 and our Starlink satellites into space.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Stage 1 propulsion is
Our 30th Electron has taken to the skies, having successfully lifted off the pad at Launch Complex 1. You can see the distinctive shape of the Mahia Peninsula below as the vehicle is on its way to space, carrying our 300th Rutherford engine and 150th satellite. The next critical stage in Electron's flight is Max Q, maximum aerodynamic pressure. This is when the vehicle's velocity and local air density are at their maximum and the vehicle experiences the most mechanical stress.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff of Starlink 4-34. Go Falcon 9. Stage 1 chamber pressure.
And we've had a successful liftoff of Falcon 9 from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral, Florida. Beautiful night here at the
Falcon
Space
power and
Coast.
telemetry is nominal.
SQ.
14.5. Trophy ignition. 10.
Tester start.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
5, 4. We have ignition. 2, 1. And liftoff of the last West Coast United Launch Alliance Delta IV Heavy rocket carrying NROL 91 for the National Reconnaissance Office.
Vehicle has now begun the pitchover maneuver. All three RS-68 engines look good at this time. Core booster is now throttling down to the partial thrust level. And that core booster has now
We're hearing the
reached
voice
the
of
desired
Rob Kesselman providing launch vehicle ascent data.
parameters continue to look good. Vehicle is now 3 miles in altitude, 5 miles downrange distance, traveling at a velocity of 1,000 miles per hour.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff of Starlink 435. Go Falcon 9. Downrange. Stage 1, chamber pressures are nominal.
And with that, successful liftoff of our Starlink satellites on our Falcon 9 vehicle.
Power and telemetry nominal.
From Space Launch Complex 40, lifting off at 7:32 p.m. Eastern Time.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. S1 engine ignition, MLO is high. Liftoff of Alpha Flight 2 on its mission to the black.
Plus counter started. We go.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket, carrying SES 20 and 21 for SES, the leading provider of global content connectivity solutions.
After 15 seconds in flight, the U has gone to closed loop control. Coming up on 30 seconds in flight, RE-180 is throttled back as expected. Engine response looks good.
You're hearing the voice of Jesse Gonzalez providing launch vehicle ascent data.
And 40 seconds into flight, Atlas V is now supersonic. And the vehicle is now passing through max Q, maximum dynamic pressure. And the RD-180 is now throttling back up as expected. Engine response continues to look good.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, engines full power, and liftoff.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
We're now at T plus 35 seconds into the 5th rotational crew mission on board Dragon and Falcon 9.
Nominal power and telemetry.
Coming up in just a few seconds, we'll hear the call out for Stage 1 throttle down.
Stage 1 throttle down.
Falcon 9 engines throttling down to help
is known as max Q. And once the vehicle, there we just heard that the vehicle is now traveling faster than the speed of sound. Once through max Q, we'll throttle those Merlin engines back up.
Max Q. Stage 1 throttle up. Stage 1 throttle.
Stage 1 Bravo.
Copy 1 Bravo.
That call out for 1 Bravo means we're in the second and final abort mode for the first stage, continuing to get good performance. The crew is already pulling over 2 Gs. And next up...
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine full power. And liftoff of Starlink 429. Go Falcon 9. Vehicle is pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon supersonic.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
ignition,
2, 1, liftoff.
Stage 1 proportional, nominal.
T plus 38 seconds and our 31st Electron has lifted off from the pad at Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1. Electron is powering its way to orbit for General Atomics.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff of Falcon 9. Go Falcon, go Intelsat Galaxy 33 and 34. Falcon 9 is pitching downrange.
T plus 40 seconds into flight, Falcon 9 successfully lifting off from Pad 40 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying Intelsat's Galaxy 33 and 34 satellites to orbit. Now, during ascent, we have begun tilting the engine, that's technically called gimbaling, and we've begun what's called a gravity turn. So we're beginning to move the rocket horizontally. We're still going up, but we're also going horizontally out
Falcon
over the
9
Atlantic.
is supersonic. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power and ignition. Lift off of Falcon 9. Go Hotbird, go Falcon. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying the Eutelsat Hotbird 13F satellite.
Nominal. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff of Falcon 9. Go Starlink, go Falcon.
Vehicles 15 downrange.
Nominal power and telemetry. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power and liftoff. Go Starlink. Go Falcon 9. Go Starlink.
Vehicles pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Power and telemetry, nominal.
Hawthorne, acquisition of signal.
As you can see, Falcon 9 has
Vehicle
successfully lifted off from Vandenberg Space Force Base, carrying our Starlink payload out into space.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, liftoff.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Thrust. Headed to space. They've throttled down in preparation for max Q, moment of peak mechanical stress on the rocket.
Falcon Heavy is supersonic.
There we just heard the call out that the vehicle is now traveling faster than the speed of sound. What a beautiful sight.
Max Q.
All right, there we just heard the call out. That is the moment of peak mechanical stress on the rocket.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff of Eutelsat Hotbird 13G. Go Falcon 9.
Nominal first stage chamber pressures.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying Eutelsat Hotbird 13G satellite.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Beginning to pitch over.
Stage 1 propulsion nominal.
Lab Launch Complex 1 and is on its way to space carrying the MAT satellite. Our rocket recovery attempt is also now officially underway. Coming up on supersonic speeds, Electron will be traveling faster than the speed of sound as it approaches its first mission milestone, maximum aerodynamic pressure.
T-minus 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine ignition.
We have liftoff. We have carried NG-8 launch vehicle on flight.
We have liftoff of Northrop Grumman's 18th Commercial Resupply Services mission. The SS Sally Ride has begun its journey to the International Space Station. The first stage is performing nominally so far.
Steadily at 100% thrust.
On a clear night in California, here we go. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff of the Atlas V, carrying JPSS-2 and Lofton, a new weather observatory for our planet, and a test for planetary exploration.
Atlas VU has gone to closed loop control.
Yeah, Daryl, as you heard Omar Baez say, LSP-100 on its way also. We're very happy for this 100th mission, the Launch Services Program. Let's listen in as Jesse Gonzalez.
And coming up on 30 seconds from the flight, vehicle is a half-mile in altitude, 2 miles downrange, traveling at 160 miles per hour. And passing 45 seconds of the flight, continuing to see good operating parameters out of the RD-180.
The power of the Atlas V RD-180.
Coming up on a minute into flight, the vehicle is ending its roll maneuver, and vehicle body rates are looking good.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of Intelsat Galaxy 31 and 32. Go Falcon 9.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure nominal.
Successful liftoff of Falcon 9 from Space Launch Complex 40 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. We're carrying the Intelsat Galaxy 31 and 32 payloads to orbit.
The Space Launch System is now counting down to liftoff of Orion on its maiden voyage to the moon. Launch team can no longer cycle the count. Sound suppressor water now flowing under the ML. And here we go.
10.
Hydrogen burn-off igniters initiated. 7, 6, 5. 4-stage engine start. 3, 2, 1. Boosters in ignition. And liftoff of Artemis 1. We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
have engines on the core stage and 2 solid rocket boosters now propelling the vehicle at 128 miles per hour. Hearing good control on the roll from teams in Mission Control Houston. All good calls so far. Now 30 seconds into the flight of Artemis 1. First milestone will be for the vehicle to pass through max Q at about 1 minute and 9 seconds into launch. This is the greatest period of atmospheric force on the rocket. SLS now traveling 607 miles per hour. You're looking at 8.8 million pounds of maximum thrust. Quiet here in the loops in Mission Control. The 4 core stage engines are throttling down ahead of passing through max Q.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff of Falcon 9. Go Eutelsat 10B, go 1049.
Vehicle's pitching downrange. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying the Eutelsat 10B satellite.
Power and telemetry.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine full power. And liftoff of CRS-26. Go Falcon and happy Thanksgiving ISS.
That's right, liftoff of SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket for the 26th cargo resupply mission, bringing new science experiments and solar arrays to the International Space Station.
See Falcon 9 carrying CRS-26 on its way to the International Space Station.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff.
Pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 39A at Kennedy Space Center, carrying our OneWeb payload. Now during ascent, we will tilt the engines, technically called gimbaling, and that'll turn the rocket horizontally slightly in what we call a gravity turn.
Nominal power and telemetry.
So we're still going up, but we're also going horizontally away from the launch pad. You can see a beautiful sunset view of that ascent of Falcon 9.
Vehicle supersonic.
Now in just a couple moments, we will be throttling the engines down in preparation for max Q, or the maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Max Q.
We just passed through that moment. Now the first stage, or any rocket, typically needs to go about 17,500 miles per hour horizontally in order to avoid being pulled back down to Earth and actually make it into orbit. So you can keep an eye on that stage 1 telemetry on that bottom left-hand side of your screen.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff.
Vehicle's peak
Staging downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, carrying the iSpace Series 1 lunar lander.
10,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine ignition and liftoff. Liftoff of SWOT, our first global survey of Earth's surface water to study how this ever-changing resource affects our climate.
And there we get a nice view from the ground camera, and also we switch to the onboard camera.
Now, Denton, you didn't go outside to see the launch, but now we're feeling it inside here in the Mission Director Center, the rumble all around us from launch.
Absolutely. And now you're getting a good look at the onboard camera looking down towards the aft end of the rockets, and you can see the Merlin engines coming to life there.
And this room coming to life, really. Lots of rumble going on in here. And we're soon going to hear that the rocket is supersonic, meaning it's going faster than the speed of sound.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power, and liftoff of SES mPOWER. Go Falcon 9, go SES.
Vehicles pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure nominal.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, carrying the O3B mPOWER satellites to orbit. Here's a great view from the first stage, looking down at those Merlin 1D engines.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power, and liftoff of Starlink 437. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Falcon is pitching downrange.
With the incredible views that we've been seeing, you can see that Falcon 9 has lifted off from Pad 39A, carrying our Starlink payload into space.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power, and liftoff of Starlink 5-1. Go Starlink, go Starlink.
Pitching downrange. M1D chamber pressure nominal. Power and telemetry nominal.
You are currently watching the 60th launch of 2022, Falcon 9 carrying our Starlink payload out into space.
Vehicle supersonic.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff.
We have
Falcon 9 and the Arrows ignition.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Vandenberg Space Force Base's Space Launch Complex 4 East.
Nominal power and telemetry.
Carrying the Arrow C3 payload.